up guys, Houston from Tag Team Tech here, and today we have a very special build for you guys featuring the AMD Ryzen platform and a very special case which is extremely hard to find nowadays, but we managed to snag. It's going to be about $1,200 to $1,400 depending on what parts you swap in and out. But for now, let's just get into it. So the case we've chosen today for our very special build is none other than the Phanteks Evolv X, which just recently released as of a month ago. Pre-orders went out, it sold out almost immediately, and I managed to snag one on Newegg just about 2 days ago and had to get overnight shipping for this thing, but it was totally worth it because this enclosure is absolutely amazing and I cannot wait to build the system.
What's up guys, it's Chris from Tag Team Tech. I'm going to be doing the motherboard and CPU installation. Okay, so we're going to start with taking the motherboard out of the box. Put that to the side. Now we're going to unbox the CPU. This CPU comes with a stock cooler. It's not the best cooler in the world, but you can still use it. But in our situation, we're not going to be using that. We just need this bad boy right here. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. You just open up the box, slide out the CPU, and just open this little plastic piece, and there's the Ryzen CPU. So all you gotta do is unlatch the lever, pull it up, and on the CPU there's a little golden triangle that you're gonna want to meet with. There's a little triangle here. You're just gonna want to make sure you don't touch the surface of the CPU, just the corners or the edges. So the green part, not the metal part, or the bottom, and then you would just gently just place it on there, and this should just drop into place. And just close the lever again, and the CPU installation is finished.
So next I'm going to be installing the M.2 SSD under this heat pipe plate here, which is connected directly to the cooling heatsink of the motherboard. First off, you take out this little screw right here, and then next you would uninstall the two next to the Republic of Gamers logo tag here next to this felt portion. And then you simply just lift up this portion, and then you unscrew the next screw that is revealed after the fact. And that would reveal your 8X PCIe slot. We're going to need the SSD itself and the screw from our motherboard box. So we go in from the top at an angle similar to SODIMM RAM, and then we place our M.2 at its edge, right there. And as it's tilted, we'll take the screw from our motherboard box. One thing I forgot was you are going to need this little standoff here, and you are going to need to screw that in right below your motherboard. So I'm going to take this out, place the standoff inside of the screw hole, screw that down, replace the M.2. Make sure you hear that click. That click is very crucial, otherwise your M.2 won't work. And then you would screw it down like so. And then you simply just replace the heat spreader. Make sure to take off the little adhesive strip. Place that back on there. Place the Phanteks Gamers logo. Like so. And now your M.2 installation is complete.
Next, you're going to be installing the RAM. In this case, it's 2 sticks of 8 gigs, which is in total 16 gigabytes. So for this, you're going to want to usually refer back to your instruction manual that came with the motherboard box. And for this particular motherboard, you're going to want to install it into these 2 slots here. So how you would go about doing that is, take a piece out. So just open the case and grab the RAM stick. There's going to be a little notch here. You're going to want to align that with the notch that is usually here. So this, make sure it goes down at the same time. Equal pressure on both sides. You can hear a little snap. And you'll know that the RAM is in there correctly. You do the same for the other one. And you can hear snap again. And you're done installing your RAM.
Next, you're going to want to install your motherboard. Now this case comes with some pre-included standoffs already included, so you're just going to have to grab the motherboard screws from your included Phanteks branded toolbox. So you're going to want to orient the motherboard in a way where the I/O shield is facing towards the back, and this motherboard comes included with a I/O shield already attached. So we're just going to go in at an angle here. Make sure it's aligned with the standoffs and make sure it's seated properly, like so. And then you're gonna want to grab your screws.
Make sure you have these screws because these are the screws designated to screw into the motherboard mounts.
Now you're gonna want to start by screwing in from the center of the standoffs here.
Next, we're going to be installing the CPU cooler. Every CPU cooler is going to be a little different. In this case, we're going to be using the AMD mount. So you just consult the manual that comes inside. Make sure you use the right one. So for my case, I will be using this one. If you're using Intel, then make sure you go to the Intel one, which is in front.
So next, we're going to be installing the radiator itself, and for this case, it has a removable mounting bracket. So we need to take off the 2 thumb screws from the back, which are captive, and stay there. Once you unscrew them all the way out, they'll just jiggle a little bit to signify that. And then once you've taken out both, you just slide the back portion back a little bit, and it'll fall away from the case. Then you'll be unscrewing the 2 thumb screws that are keeping the removable bracket in, which are both also captive, and all you'll have to do is just slide up to release it, and this is how you'll install your radiator. Next, we're going to be putting in our power supply. Now, our power supply is modular, so we'll be able to put the cables in through the front side and then plug them in through the back. So we do have some sleeved cables here from Cable Mod. So we'll be using these for our 8-pin EPS power and our 24-pin. So let's do that first before we do the, oh, this is not secure. Before we do the power supply. So you want to slide these back, and you want to have the back panel open a little bit, just so. I should also mention that this back panel is removable, so if you swing it out far enough, you'll just be able to. Alright, so you're going to want to turn it around to the back, and then you're going to want to open this process up here. And be mindful that if you do take off the other side panel, this side panel does hang, and it is pretty heavy, so the case might tip. Be mindful of that. And you're going to want to unlatch these two panels here, and this panel here. And then you're going to want to turn it around again so you can interface with the front side of the case. Alright, so next you're going to want to slide through your cables. So this 24 pin can just go right here. Undo this Velcro strap here. You just go right through here. Oh, wrong way. Right through here, like so. And then you can just plug this straight into the motherboard, like so. Pull that through. The cable comes here. So, and then we're going to do the 8-pin EPS power, which is right here. Then I'm going to slide that through the top and pull it through the back. It'll be a little bit tricky. Pull. And then you're just going to want to fold it over here. Like so. And for now, and then we're going to close up the back panels, just for now, so we can get our power supply mounted, which mounts from the behind. Close this door, and then we're going to turn the case over. So we focus our attention to these two screws down here. We unscrew them. They're also retained, so they just fall out. And then we grab our 650 watt power supply out of the box. Like so. And then we place the bracket over the power supply to find the screws. So this is upside down, like so. So this is where you would go and refer back to the toolbox, to where you would grab your tools to screw in the power supply. You get those. You'd get these screws that look something similar to this. Have a little hexagonal shape to them. Then you grab 4 of those. And then take your power supply, place the bracket on top, then you just place the screws in. Like yay. And you want to give them a little place to hold for now. So we can just screw them in. Alright, now you just want to slide your cables through the back. Like so. And push your power supply all the way in. And reattach your bracket to your cable. Oh, wrong way again. Like so. Might have to do this by hand. This is hold on. So that the first way was the right way. I just didn't have the holes aligned properly. Second screw for that one to screw in for some reason. Like that, we have a power supply installed. Now let's turn our attention to the back of the case, where we're going to connect those extra extension cables to the rest of the power supply cables. So we're going to connect the CPU cable to the CPU bracket here, like so. Make sure you hear that click to know it's secure. And the 24 pin to the 24 pin header here. And make sure to grab the SATA cable from your box, so you can power your fan hub, which is located up here, and also power your LEDs. So I'm going to plug in the peripheral cable into the peripheral plug here. And there are two SATA cables here, but there is also one for the AIO pump, so we're going to be also installing a second one. Or, in fact, better yet, this SATA cable has 3 or 4 these SATA ports, so we're going to be using this one instead of the one with just 2. Input here, and then the fan hub here. And then we're going to be mostly done for this part. And with that, now we're going to start running some of our front panel connectors.
Okay, so now we're gonna connect the front panel connectors and the RGB lights. Right there. That's good. Hold on. And that yours DP pointer.
Oh, wait, please don't tell me you bent it. Alright,
I'm gonna say that's good.
It should be. That's a $200 motherboard. That's a $200.
Alright, boys, I'm panic.
Okay.
Let's forget that one habit. That what is this one?
That one is the top two, like the top two.
No, I'm saying what is this?
What? Oh, that's RGB.
For what?
I got my case for like the front lighting, like the lighting and this lighting.
I'm scared now, cause I think I'm out of bit.
Nah, you're good. It can bend like a decent amount. One, two, three, four. So these two. Okay. Let's plug them back a little bit.
Don't pull too much.
Alright, so.
Okay. Okay. Just text me.
I like this one. What the fuck?
Alright, let's finish the C. Do the type C part. Okay. We're done with that part.
Next, we're going to be unboxing the graphics card. And for this, we're going to be using the first slot right underneath the M.2 connector. Alright, first you gotta unscrew these two caps there. We're gonna unscrew these two PCIe ports right here. Not the top one, the second two. And then replace those screws. All right. And then we're gonna run our 8-pin cable for our graphics card through the bottom of the power supply shroud and up through this little grommet here. Connect it to our graphics card like so.
Just the stuff in my leg getting
Plug this part in, then we're going to plug our extender in and run it through this convenient hole right next to the power supply, like so. And just run it up through the back of our case.
It's too big.
And we can just leave that in the basement of our computer here. Alright, so next we're going to do the extremely simple job of cable managing in this case. So pretty much...
AKA stuff everything in the corner and hope for the best.
What he said. Just kind of close the latches around it and kind of hope that it doesn't look terrible. Like that.
Whoa. Easy.
Beautiful.
GG.
Beautiful. So beautiful. But I probably shouldn't have done that considering there is one more component left. Even though this system has a plethora of RGB, as in here, 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 and here, and even over there, we're still gonna add more of it with this cable lighting kit from Airvo. Alrighty, let's just add these here. And now let's decide where to put these strips.
Nigga, what? What should just put them in there? Usually, hey, boom, sneaking pussy. What?
Alright, so I guess we could go through that. Unplug this like that, and then these are magnetic. So where did one of my strips just fall? All right, so for the most part, we are done with this build. Now all we have to do is slap some power cables on the back of it and put the tempered glass cables on the back of it, and we're pretty much done, which we will now do. So now we're going to be putting on the panels and putting the finishing touches. How does it go on? Alright. The last crowning moment would be putting the last piece of tempered glass back on the
A089.
back on the case. We're done.
Now turn it to the front, plug it in, and get some lights on.
So now that we're done, I'd say it's time to see just how much RGB is in this thing. We're gonna turn off the lights. Alright. Right now. And we're gonna push the power button and see just how much RGB we got. So quiet.
Yo, bruh. Jesus. Oh my god.
Hey guys, thanks for watching the video all the way to the end here. It was a really fun build, building my first high-end desktop. There were some challenges along the way. There are a lot of things that we hadn't experienced before, but all in all, I'd say it was a great experience. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I'll leave links to our Instagram and Discord and Twitter below the like button.